I want to talk about the YouTube war between African American black men and women. The reason I feel qualified to do that as a UK black man is because I think our cultures, or the cultures that we live in, are very similar. And the issues between black men and women in the UK are almost identical to the ones that I hear coming out of America. That's why I feel qualified to comment on your situation. Right, well, one of the questions that nobody ever asks is, how did things get like this? Where did this anger and hatred between us come from? Well, let's keep it real, right? Because I think I'm older than a lot of the people talking, having these discussions and debates. I mean, I'm in my mid-30s, so I've kind of grown up. I've seen, a time when relations between black men and women were better than they are now. So what I would say is that the problems that we see between black men and women today didn't originate with this generation, but today's young generation, say people in their 20s. I think it started with people older than that. And the reason why I say that is because for the last 30 years or so, black women have used every platform and every opportunity to bash black men. Now, there isn't necessarily anything wrong with that. If that's their experience, then perhaps, that's something that they want to talk about, or they have a right to talk about. But the problem is, or the problem has been, that black men have not been allowed to express their grievances with black women in any public forum. For example, there are no TV programs dedicated to men's issues. For example, there is no Oprah Winfrey for men. So what's happened over the last 30 years is we've had a completely one-sided perspective, i.e. a female perspective. And also, we've had a dysfunctional female perspective. When you watch programs like Oprah and Tyra, you're not seeing women who come on those programs to talk about how happy they are in their relationships. No, you're getting what you're getting is women who've got some issue or some complaint about some black man. And what happens is the negative stereotypes about black men are reinforced each time the topic of black male-female relationships is discussed. I mean, every time they make a program or write an article or have a discussion about black men and black women, you have these dysfunctional women coming on and giving their opinions, their dysfunctional opinions, and then the stereotypes about black men become further entrenched to the point where they become accepted truth. 30 years of hearing only a dysfunctional female perspective on male-female issues has corrupted the minds of subsequent generations. And this is where we find ourselves now. This has led to a lot of anger and resentment in black men because they look at their own life experience and they think to themselves, well, hold on, I'm a decent black man, I'm trying to do my best. And what's being said in the popular culture about black men is not true in my case. And they're angry. Right? Because our voices, our what we experience is just completely censored out. It's never given any airtime. Right? That's why so many of these black men are confused also, because they think the problem is with other black men. They think that they look at themselves and think, well, I don't do those bad things to women. I'm a good man. They think it's the other black men that are doing it to women. When the truth is, it's not black men who are victimizing black women. It's the women who complain about black men who are dysfunctional. Right? We only ever hear the perspectives of women who have problems relating to black men. So what's happened now as a result of this 30-year barrage of abuse against black men is that most black women now believe the negativity about black men. They accept it without question. And no doubt that's probably affected their behaviour towards us and the way they relate to us and the way they see us. So now it's time for black men to start answering back. We've heard women give their opinions on black men for decades, and most of what's come out of their mouths is offensive, highly offensive to me as a black man, quite frankly. And most of it is untrue, is demonstrably untrue, right? The internet is a powerful invention, probably one of the most powerful weapons that black men have in their armory, as far as, organizing and communicating with each other with regards to our issues with black women. You can't censor us out on the internet. Even if you get people banned or blocked off YouTube, the internet's still going to be there, right? This issue is not going to go away because we're angry, we're tired, and we need to vent. Just as the parade of angry black women have for the last 30 years. You've had your say, and now it's our time. Right, there will be no censorship, and we're going to deal with this issue our way. There's a lot of anger, there's a lot of righteous anger, and I'm pleased about that. Because the dialogue has been entirely one-sided, and now it's time for men's voices to be heard. Black women are going to have to deal with a lot. And it's not going to be pretty. Once we've vented, perhaps, and once we've vented, got it out of our systems, and maybe we can reach a point where we can reflect more calmly and logically about these whole things, then perhaps we might be taking the first steps to actually solving the problems. But at the moment, the whole thing is at the beginning. There has to be a period of venting. People just need to release all that bottled up rage, because we've had no outlet for that. So this is where we are. So black women can cry and moan and do whatever else, but it's not going to change anything. So I suggest you just buckle up, because it's going to be a roller coaster of a journey. Later.